Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina wa Maulana Muhammadin wa alihi wa azwajihi wa zurriyatihi ajma'in. We're continuing our reading of Allama Iqbal's Reconstruction of Religious Thought in Islam. Here, the heart is a kind of inner intuition or insight. Now, even though the heart has been put in inverted commas here, the heart is not an intuition, it's a source. I mean, in normal usage, we won't say that heart itself is an intuition, even if we believe in any sort of intuition. Now, there are several problems here with Allama Iqbal's account. Firstly, he hasn't specified what he means by heart. As we saw last time, heart can mean physiological heart can mean mind, heart can mean understanding, heart can mean reason, heart can mean center of consciousness in the Quranic usage. So what does he mean by heart? He hasn't, at least so far, he hasn't specified that. That's the first problem. The second problem is that even if we consider heart as capable of some sort of intuition, heart itself cannot be considered intuition. Heart is a source. Even though in Islamic sources, sometimes when they talk about al-aql, they mean knowledge by it, which is strange, but I doubt it whether Iqbal has that usage in mind. But I just wanted to note this here, that heart is a source, not intuition itself. The heart is a kind of inner, and as we saw last time, kind of doesn't make, what do you mean by kind of? It's a bit imprecise usage. Kind of inner intuition or insight. Talk about intuition and insight last time, but let's look at the dictionary meaning. Maybe we'll come up with something additional, some further insight. Now, last time we had looked at philosophical meaning of intuition, but in English dictionary, for example, intuition, I think this is, I just Google searched it, but it says it is in Oxford Dictionary, so let's assume that. As I said, the ability to understand something instinctively. So that's a bit different from philosophical usage we looked at. Instinctively, without the need for conscious reasoning. So in that sense, intuition is more like a pre-reflective reasoning, according to this meaning. So I'm not sure whether you can, because instinctively and pre-reflective can be understood in, by pre-reflective, either we can mean the sort of distinction which then Daniel Kahneman makes in System 1, between System 1 and System 2 types of thinking, or by pre-reflective we can mean, for example, random style, explicit distinction. So pre-reflected would be implicit, System 1 would be pre-reflective here, but probably what they mean is less. I think more probably what they mean is the by pre-reflective System 1 style thinking, which is pre-reflective but intuitive in only very basic sense. Anyway, so according to this definition, intuition is something we understand something instinctively without the need for conscious reason. So system either implicitly or system one style thinking in a la Daniel Kahneman and co. So that's the first. And the second meaning in the same dictionary of intuition is similar: a thing that one knows or consider likely from instinctive feeling. Now here it goes to instinctive feeling rather than reasoning, rather than conscious reasoning. So similar sort of and among synonyms or similar meaning, similar words, you have hunch, feeling, or gut feeling. So intuition in this sense can either mean implicit knowledge or implicit knowledge, or it can mean system one style thinking, which is the thinking which operates automatically and quickly with little or no effort and no sense of voluntary control. So that's very close to actually implicit knowledge as well. So okay, now let's look at go back first. So the heart is a kind of inner intuition or insight. So it's using intuition as a synonym for insight, and it is in English language is used for synonym of intuition as well, even though insight is a bit of different connotation. But let's look at the literary or linguistic meaning or dictionary meaning of insight as well. So insight the capacity to gain accurate and deep understanding of someone or something. So that's a bit different. And you can get that through intuition or through even conscious reasoning. So that's the end product. But among the similar words, one of the words they mention is intuition, perception, awareness, discernment, understanding. And apparently in psychiatry, awareness by mentally ill person that their mental experience are not based in external reality. So self-awareness of, and apparently it's a word of German. The word has German roots or German origin, Germanic anyway. Scandinavian, German, Swedish, Dutch, Germanic. So ultimately it comes from Einsicht, German Einsicht. In Middle English, the basically actually literally it means inner sight. And in Middle English it was used for wisdom, and I think we still use for wisdom at least in philosophical and other sort of literature. And the same word occurs as insikt in Swedish, which sounds similar to instinct, but I think it's Einsicht, German Einsicht. So inner sight. So in that sense, if what I say intuit means to see, so inner seeing or seeing. Okay, enough for the dictionary meaning of the words. Let's go back to the grind. So the heart is a kind of inner intuition or insight which, in the beautiful words of Rumi, feeds on the rays of the sun and brings us into contact with aspects of reality other than those open to sense perception. So sense perception has already said that we get the knowledge of that through senses plus concept, and he has named it reflective observation. Reflective observation. So intuition is something which sense perception doesn't have access to. So intuition opens up for us aspects of reality which are not opened through sense perception. That much is clear from the start anyway. So he's referring to Rumi, and the editor has given Rumi's possible verse which Allama Iqbal might be referring to. So let's look at Rumi's verse and see if it gels with what Iqbal is aiming at. So this is Rumi's verse he is referring to, which is Masnavi volume 2 and 52nd verse, I guess. हिस्से अब्दान कूत जुल्मत में खोरद हिस्से अब्दान कूत जुल्मत में खोरद हिस्से जान az aftabe में चरद. So it's talking about two types of senses. His sense. Two types of senses. Are normal senses, bodily senses. The food of bodily senses is darkness. I think what he means is that the outer senses or bodily senses don't give us any purview or any can't open to us or can't reveal to us the ultimate reality. So Jaan is either soul or it can be Jaan is life. But there are senses which are not bodily senses but spiritual senses, in this sense that they are the senses of the soul, and their food is the sun. Their source is the sun. So light. Sun is the symbol for light, and so they open up the reality which is hidden from our bodily senses. So to that extent, what Iqbal is saying is similar to what Maulana Rumi is saying. But here's the thing: the sun, the rays are coming here, and that's the sun. And these rays, this is light, and this light illuminate the reality. So the eye of our soul is able to see the reality, the real reality, the ultimate reality which senses have no access to in the light of these rays. But there are a few things which should be noted here. Firstly, rays are coming. We don't have any control over rays. So it's, in a sense, reception. But the soul's eye can only see, as we know, from if it is not dominated by the bodily senses. So you have to actually make yourself worthy of, by purifying your soul, worthy of receiving this light. So it's a reception, and the active part is the action on your own soul and your own body, which makes possible for you to take benefit of this light. Otherwise, if light is there, the sun is there, but if outer senses or your body is dominated on your soul's eye would not be able to see, or if it sees, it will see not as it should be. Its sight would be blurry, or what it sees would be blurry, or not clear, etc., depending on the. But that element is missing. So these two things are missing in Allama Iqbal's account. This inner intuition, Maulana Rumi is talking about, is receptive in a sense from the source. We have no control over it. And the only thing, it is all there. Active part is our purification of our own soul through working on our body, and so that it is subservient to soul, not the other way around. And the soul is an-nafs al-mutmainna, or at some stage of that nafs. So these two elements are missing in Allama Iqbal's account of inner intuition, even though he is referring to Maulana Rumi here. And when I say missing from Allama Iqbal's account, I mean here, I'm not making any universal judgment on Allama Iqbal's even reconstruction, let alone his poetry and all that. And then he goes on to say, it is according to the Quran, something which sees. According to Quran, something which sees. It is, he is referring to, is the heart, obviously. Heart is something which sees according to Quran, according to Allama Iqbal. And its reports, if properly interpreted, are never false. That seems a bit questionable remark. Never false. Human intuition can always be false, and even revelation. I mean, shayateen and other sources can intervene, and the fact that ultimately revelation is safeguarded, that's because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken upon it. But ilham, you can't say about ilham. That's why ilham, you can make not just the mistake of interpretation, but ilham can be actually from shayateen, as well he can be from shayateen too. And the prophets don't make mistake, not because the mistake cannot be made, but because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made them ma'soom. Anyway, what verse is he referring to? I mean, one of the verses, obviously, he already referred to. Let's look at what verses he might be referring to here. So, Allama Iqbal might be referring to these verses of Surah An-Najm, as his editor also agrees with it, because that's where Quran refers to the heart seeing, or you can interpret it in that way. So let's look at it. فَأَوْحَى إِلَىٰ عَبْدِهِ مَا أَوْحَى. So that's the context. And revealed to God's servant what he revealed, either Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself or Jibreel. And Pickthall's translation is, and he revealed unto his slave what which he revealed. Now this is where ma kadabal fuadu ma ra'a. So the Prophet's own heart did not distort what he saw. That's Abdul Halim's translation. Ma kazabal fuadu ma ra'a. Just notice that as we'll come to it, the ayah is not saying that the heart is actually seeing. What the ayah is saying is the Prophet's own heart did not distort what he saw with his own eyes, for example. So the ayah doesn't say that he saw with his heart or that heart sees. Although in Quran blindness is referred to hearts, so we are not denying that heart can see, but the question is in what sense. The heart lied not in seeing what it saw. That's Biktal. And afatumarunahu ala ma yara. Are you going to dispute with him what he saw with his own eyes? Because yara, the word yara, that's for most probably is used for seeing with eyes. Will ye then dispute with him concerning what he seeth? Just going back to Allama Iqbal's, it is according to the Quran that is heart something which sees, and its reports, if properly interpreted, can never be false. And because he's using this word interpretation, that's why we think that this verse might be referred to. But as we saw, there are a few things about this verse of Surah Najm. Now, first thing to note is that these ayahs are talking about revelation from the prophets. So there's only one prophet in this ummah, so this can't be generalized to everybody. So revelation is only, in this specific sense, is only on the prophets and messengers of God. And since our prophet is the last prophet, then this cannot be applied to other people. So the generalization, if Iqbal is referring to this ayah, is not possible. So فَأَوْحَى إِلَى عَبْدِهِ مَا أَوْحَى مَا كَذَبَ الْفُؤَادُ مَا رَأَى. And we say that he might be referring to this ayah because he says that he says that if it's interpreted correctly, then properly interpreted is never false. So only revelation can be never false. That's the first thing. The second thing is, although al-fuad, which can be interpreted as heart, is interpreting فَأَوْحَى إِلَى عَبْدِي مَا أَوْحَى مَا كَذَبَ الْفُؤَادُ مَا رَأَى. But fuad, the Quran is actually not saying that fuad is seeing. Fuad is doing interpretation, so it's more like, understanding, the faculty of understanding, or at more the faculty of reason. But it is interpreting أَفَتُمَارُونَ وَلَا مَيْرَى فَأَوْحَى إِلَى عَبْدِي مَا أَوْحَى مَا كَذَبَ الْفُؤَادُ مَا رَأَى, whatever it saw. So it saw, ra is used in Arabic language to see through your eyes. So that's why Imam Suyuti, or rather Jalaluddin Mahalli, in the tafsir of this ما كذب بالتخفيف والتشديد أنكر الفؤاد فؤاد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما رأى ما رأى, he says ما رأى ببصره with his eyes. So at least this ayah, doesn't prove Allama Iqbal's point that Quran, according to the Quran, something which sees and its reports are never wrong if properly interpreted. Okay, let's go back. So it is according to Quran something which sees and its reports, if properly interpreted, are never false. Okay, let's stop here and we'll continue from here next time, inshallah.